there's actually a few different types of targeting jobs that the CIA has. There's targeting analysts, which is the one that I was never really involved with. They do kind of more strategic level stuff. And then there's human targeters and tech targeters. I did a little both of those. So basically, as a targeter, your job is to get the intelligence requirements that the different stakeholders have, and figure out how do we get answers to those questions. So whether that's finding the right person that has the access to information that you can try to recruit, or whether it's some kind of technical operation that you can do, just finding out as much as you can about those targets, and then passing it on to the operation people who can make those things happen. So it was a really cool job. I got to work on several different topics, mostly cybersecurity stuff, and nation state actors. So it was really cool. And 7 years later, I came over to the private sector, and I've been in product management since then.
So very interesting. Yeah, and for me, just knowing how that works, or giving our audience a little bit of a grasp of how the life of a CIA targeted looks like, very interesting to hear that background. And for me, just to generally understand, of course, if you can disclose, how much open source intelligence is part of being a targeter. Do you use open sources, or is it only closed source or human? Because that's definitely something that I don't know. We don't have a CIA in my country. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, so open source is huge. And then, of course, we have different ways at getting some of that stuff that is kind of open source adjacent. So honestly, the way that it was handled, at least back then, like I said, it's been about 5 years now since I was in. It was really a pretty stark division between who could access open source information, who was accessing closed source information. So it was while it was very important to the targeting, and could have been so much easier if I had just had direct access to the OSINT myself. It was more of a process, and I think they're working on that now and making it so that everybody has access to that open source information. But I became best friends with the people who did have access to it, and it is absolutely vital to being able to in both human and tech targeting, to just be able to find out as much as you can about those targets, patterns of life, what people's motivations might be, things like that. So it's super important.